Howdy, all you delicious people. I'm here today to view She-Hulk Attorney at Law, Season 1, Episode 4. We are halfway through this show, if you can even call it a show. I guess you can, because it's on Disney Plus for some odd reason. So one thing I want to clear up if I didn't say in the last review, Blonsky was to get parole on the condition that he would, of course, go on and never become Abomination again, to have something being like an ankle monitor being put on his leg to make sure that the authorities are to be notified if Blonsky ever changes into the Abomination again. As well as it, even though it seemed that Blonsky is to have control over the Abomination side of him, they're like, well, we never want to see him become Abomination again, so we're going to make sure of that. Unless there's something magical that happens for this character again, forcing him to become Abomination, and then what are you going to do then? So, but yeah, I just want to make that clear if I forgot about that in the last episode. So, now we're talking about episode 4. We have a character that has no tie to the comic book world of things whatsoever, with the exclusion of a name called Blaze. And I know a lot of people are immediately saying, like, well, Johnny Blaze, right? No. This is not a Ghost Rider character. If anything, this is just some character they invented for this show, and evidently they didn't realize there was another character in the Marvel world that had the last name Blaze, because these writers are not as intelligent as I would like them to be. But for some reason, they keep getting checks, so they keep writing these stories. Because honestly, while I was going through this episode, I'm like, man, I feel dumb watching this show. But, like, hey, that's the show's benefit. It's like, man, like, we still have viewers on this show? People watch this? Wow. People are dropping IQ points as the weeks go along. Because really for this episode, we have a character named Donnie with a D. Donnie Blaze is to be this magician who is to somehow find himself a sling ring, which is to be like the Doctor Strange kind of metal thing that goes in between the two fingers. And like we've seen like other characters kind of use this thing in some stories here in the MCU, or just look into the Doctor Strange movie, they'll explain the sling ring. But it seems that somehow a person is to obtain the sling ring and is to do it for ill purposes, which that should immediately just have Wong go on, find this guy, slap him around, and take the ring from him, and just be like, job is done. But instead, Wong goes on and wants to take this guy to court to make him cease and desist all stupid magic wielding abilities, because this guy is awful at magic, the one thing that he is to be paid to do, for some odd reason. I don't know why. So, really that is to be the focus on this episode, as well as Jennifer trying to go on and getting into the dating life. And the one thing that I thought was cool was like, oh my god, we have David Otunga in this episode. David Otunga, if you do not know, used to be a WWE wrestler, and then became a ring announcer, and then just, like, for whatever reason, was just not in WWE, or maybe was doing, like, producer or something stuff for that, I'm not quite sure. But, it was great to see him on the show. I'm like, oh my god, David Otunga. Like, he at one point was to also be in a relationship with Jennifer Hudson. I don't know if that's still going on, but at one point that was also a thing. But good for him to be getting work. That's great. I was really happy with that. But that was the only like upside to this whole entire show. It was like, hey, David Tonga and She-Hulk actually fighting a entity in this show for once. I was like, wow, She-Hulk is actually fighting somebody for more than 5 seconds. Wow, that's refreshing. And like by the time that I was actually jazzed about this episode, it abruptly ended. Because like, oh my god, fighting is going on in the show. That is as low as the bar can get when you're just somebody's punching somebody in the face. Oh my god, I'm excited. Violence is going on, folks. Violence. Something can happen with violence. So yeah, like that was the only thing that really just came out of the show because there's really again nothing going on. So yeah, so with that said, let's just go on into spoilers because yeah, like we have really the only reason why Donnie Blaze was invented for this episode was to bring back Wong to have him have something to do here instead of paying money for another copyrighted Marvel character to be used on the show because the show, even though it has CGI money, it doesn't have money. like, like the money of the show is just like, well, yeah, let's use some characters, but we'll not use them well enough. So that's just great. I was so jazzed about the Wrecking Crew, and they weren't even in this episode. So the one thing that actually got me excited about this whole entire season, how often are we even going to see the Wrecking Crew in this show? Probably the one-off episode, right? And then leave us to next season till we use the Wrecking Crew again for one 15-second little blurb, and then it's going to be gone. I hope they get used next week, because if they don't, I'm going to be ticked. Because we've already wasted an episode that could have just been, hey guys, let's focus on the Wrecking Crew, the guys you barely saw in the last episode. F all, right? So, with that said, let's just go into spoilers. Let's just throw this one out there to call it a day. So, let's go on into spoilers. Let's just do that. So, in the beginning of this episode, we are to reference that the Wrecking Crew exists. Isn't that great? While Jennifer's father is coming over to give her a shovel to defend herself against this Wrecking Crew group, because I guess it was a joke about, like, considering they were in construction and they had all these, like, weird, goofy items like a wrench or a crowbar or goofy, like, helmets. Like, her father was to bring over a shovel to defend Jennifer against the Wrecking Crew, She-Hulk battle, whatever. So Jennifer, of course, can defend herself because she is a She-Hulk. So, like, really, she just realized how, like, her dad was having some good intentions, but wasted time just bringing her a shovel. How about you just buy her a gun, Dad? Just buy her a gun. Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead. Just wait like 6 to whatever weeks or whatever, however long a gun takes. Anyways, so Jennifer is to have Nikki set up for her some match dating app thing. Considering Jennifer is now on TV as being She-Hulk, and it seems that Nikki is to also want Jennifer to change her attire because she's wearing the same things over and over and over again. And Jennifer immediately said in other episodes that she does not want to spend a whole entire amount of money on a whole wardrobe for She-Hulk. So that's why she wears the same thing all of the time. So Nikki is setting up Jennifer on this dating app called, I think it's like Match, whatever. Uh, so Jennifer goes on to have like a cluster of guys go on and go after her, and Jennifer realizes the one that she accepts is to be the shady guy that doesn't listen to her. Immediately goes on to when the tab comes by, he's already looking at other women to swipe left on. And is that the dating app thing to swipe left, or is it right? I could care less because it's been years before even going on and doing that kind of thing, because dating apps are stupid. Dating apps are dumb. You never really like the worst thing to probably do is actually just go on a dating app. Like, some people say it works. I don't think it does. I think it's a waste of time 90% of the time. If you have like 10 minutes to blow, then go ahead and do it. But yeah, like dating apps are just a waste. So we have Jennifer that meets with a guy. Now, I have no cast list for this episode, so I'm just kind of winging it because IMDb didn't update the cast list for this episode. So I'm like, great. Thanks for nothing, IMDb. So I go on and so this guy is not listening to Jennifer, is blowing her off. And then when the check comes, he is to immediately grab his car keys and tell Jennifer thanks for the drinks, and he leaves. So Jennifer is to realize that she has no value to men, sadly, to the point of her now needing to desperately go on and become She-Hulk and go on this Match.com site, and her notifications are going bananas. Because, of course, when she was just normal, common Jennifer, it seems that she ended up getting a notification that she wasn't getting any notifications. And she was like, how is that even a notification? Why does that even exist? So, when Jennifer goes on to become She-Hulk and has his profile picture, wham! She ends up getting so many notifications. So she starts going on all these dates with all these guys, one of them being David Otunga. Great. I like seeing people that I actually like getting work. That's the one thing. I'd love to see more people that I like getting more work, but still. Anyways, so She-Hulk goes on these dates, and we have a number of people that are just going on and asking her, like, hey, how much you deadlift? Deadlift, of course, if you don't know, is this very unique bar that you can go on and kind of like walk into and kind of lift and then kind of do kind of like these shoulder shrugs. And so I'm just kind of like, okay, deadlifting. Unless like because it's been such a long time since I've done weight training, but yeah, but anyways, as if anybody really cares or knows. Anyways, so but shoulder shrugs, yeah, I could really just go on and do for some shoulder shrugging. I know a lot of times I would just go on and I would just get like a certain like hefty amount of like just plates, weight plates, and I would just use that as a shoulder shrugging thing. Like I wouldn't go on and just like, yeah, I need to go and I need to get this massive thing to just do shoulder shrugs. Wow. Like I need to go on and get a personal bar just to do shoulder shrugs. That's gonna be great. No, that just seems like a waste. So, anyways, so we go on to have Jennifer as She-Hulk going through these dates, and we have a guy asking like, "Man, it seems like you're really indestructible, right?" And Jennifer's like, "Well, yeah, I guess so." And he's like, "Well, like could vibranium hurt you? Could?" And she's like, "Well, I don't know. Do you have some on you?" And he's just like, "No, but like I want to figure out if like how durable you really are. Like is there any mineral that can take you down?" And I was like, "What a creepy dude. What a goof." Uh like it just seems like like to me that might be honestly the equivalent of like a comic book fanboy that is to just kind of want to like just like know secrets about a character or something unique that not everyone else knows. That seems like kind of like a She-Hulk fan. Um, like a lot of times you would get those questions of like, well, hey, what do you think? Or what did you do in the show that probably they've never done in the comic books? And we would immediately have the actress or actor answer, well, like, I haven't read the comic books all that well, but I think we're doing something really unique here. Whatever that is, I don't know, because I don't know anything about the comic books, but that's normally the answer. And that's so funny. So, anyways, so we have She-Hulk that goes through all these dates, and finally it seems that there is a potential guy. I see potential guy, but this guy comes off as the most like cliche dating guy you have ever seen in a dating movie being put into this scenario where this guy is to just be like, yeah, I can't believe no one goes on and really listens to you, and and no one really knows what it's like for you, and so on and so forth. I'm so compassionate about all your problems, because there might actually be a legit guy like that. But once She-Hulk again shifts back into Jennifer, man, does that tone snap and change just like that. But so when Jennifer or when She-Hulk is to find this diamond in the rough guy, she is to make her way to bring this guy home and want to immediately bed him. But then when she gets up as Jennifer the next day, this guy is like, dude, deuces, I'm out of here. Like, I got the woman I wanted. Like, I don't need whatever this is. So see you later. So this guy was just putting on a show, as well as him going on and spilling wine on his shirt. So he took his shirt off, and Jennifer's like, like, I want me some of that. And then she throws the shirt, and the guy's like, where's the shirt? And she's like, oh, who cares? So stupid. So now we have to cover the Wong stuff because that exists in this show. So we have a guy named Donnie Blaze with a D, because some people would have thought it was Johnny Blaze. I think the first time I heard Johnny Blaze, and then because I don't have subtitles, for this episode, because I just went on and just kind of watched on Disney Plus, and normally I would watch it with subtitles, but this version I just didn't because I was like, who cares? It's She-Hulk, so I just watched it on my television. And I was like, oh, wait, like, did they say Johnny Blaze? And it's like, no, they said Donnie Blaze. I'm like, okay, well, like, I don't care about this episode then. So, Donnie Blaze finds the most drunk woman in the stage to be his assistant, as we have Donnie, who also has this man in the back as his assistant or his manager. I don't know what this guy really is. What was the point of the old man that Donnie is to have on stage? What was the point of him? There was no point? Great. So Donnie brings up this girl, and is to just sling ring her into a random location, which was to be this dimension. And somehow this girl re-pops back where Wong is now watching Sopranos, but he's not watching Sopranos, he's just hearing the theme song. And this girl just appears. And so when this girl is to make her statement at court, she mentions that she had to make some deal with some demon to get her way back to this realm. And I'm like, what demon did she make a deal with? Was it Mephisto? Was it... Could it have been a actual demon that you would actually need to pay copyrights to have it exist in this world? Of a She-Hulk show? Wouldn't that be fan-freaking-tastic? But anyways, they never showed what that character was. So anyways, we find out from this drunken girl what happened to her, and so Wong is like, oh no, like I need to go on, and I need to have this guy cease and desist his magical wielding abilities. So Wong goes to She-Hulk and is to tell her, like, we need to stop this all right now. And so they end up going to court to try and go on to stop Donnie Blaze from doing his magic. And so what happens is somehow we have this judge ruling in Donnie Blaze's favor for him to continue to do magic, even if it is to put people in danger. And even though we do have She-Hulk, who had the drunken girl witness that was still drunk in this courtroom because this girl parties all the time, and is to come on here and say what all she had to go through. But she was saying that it was spooky and it was fun, but it was scary, but it was fun, but it was dangerous, but it was... I'm losing IQ points even saying any part of the rest of this episode. So we then have the lawyers of Donnie Blaze go on it, or the lawyer of Donnie Blaze saying, like, well, like, that is the whole thing. Like, this guy has to be fun and spooky. And so, like, how can you not go on and, like, want Donnie to perform that kind of feat? So the judges somehow rule in favor of Donnie, and we had every single one of the guys on Donnie's side do these magical tricks. Like, the lawyer is to even be a magician, and we have a moment where Donnie, it seems, is to do this weird bunny magic thing, and the lawyer's like, ooh, wow, that was great. So Donnie is to continue to do the same stupid trick again with another woman. And so this woman ends up getting up, and she said, like, well, hey, I know what you did to my friend from this act before. So here's the thing, why is this stupid woman going to this act, getting up on stage? Is she that dumb? When she knows there's a trick going on where somebody's going to get sent somewhere they shouldn't. But so we just continue to have Donnie, who's messing around with magic. So he makes somehow a bunny appear, and everybody's like, wow. And then Donnie goes on and opens up another portal to this world where these kind of demons kind of fly out of there. And they kind of look like gremlins a little bit, but like they start to morph into these, like, these winged goblins that are that kind of are like skin toned, like colored, and they end up morphing from like these winged things to then be these like muscular looking things. And so we again are to go on and have another girl who is to get sent, or no, I think Wong ends up finding out that Donnie's going on and doing this magic again. And so he's going to go on and police him. And so we also have Wong in that one girl who is the witness. They end up together by the end of this episode, and they're talking about all these stupid drinks, and they're watching This Is Us, and that was the end credit scene. What a waste that was. I was like, God, I am losing IQ points by watching this show. But at least like there might be something worthwhile watching when the Wrecking Crew comes on the show somehow again. I'll actually watch it when they are there. But if for whatever reason they want to give me something to watch in the show, so She-Hulk is going on and with her date, and so Wong is to now teleport to where She-Hulk is to force her to fight with him against these demons. And so we have She-Hulk that is to start grabbing these demons and chucking them all into this portal, which isn't the actual portal where they should be going into, because Wong is to have some like ice background when it actually should be whatever demon background that was in. They effed that up. They effed up the Wong background because it's some icy background that doesn't make any sense. So they that up. So Wong starts doing a kind of Ghost Rider kind of thing where he is to take this one kind of stretch of a string, like a magic string, and starts roping in a lot of these demons, starts sucking them into this hole. And so She-Hulk is to grab one of the demons and is to kind of toss this in front of Donnie Blaze and his assistant, and is to tell them, hey, are you guys finally learned now that you should stop doing this magic? And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll never do this again. And she ends up using this demon to make them stop. So it seems like they've decided that they're going to stop, so She-Hulk chucks all the demons back into their realm, and la-di-da, everyone's happy. So She-Hulk, by the time that she gets back with her date, she has all of this demon goop on her, but She-Hulk and this guy just go into the bedroom to just go at it anyways, because She-Hulk is She-Hulk. So Jennifer ends up going on and appearing to this guy as Jennifer, and this guy has no interest. And so by the end of this episode, we find out that Jennifer is getting sued by Titania because she is to go on and use the name She-Hulk that Titania ended up trademarking. And so Jennifer is like, say what? So that's how the episode ends up ending, and Jennifer is to even complain herself. It's like, seriously, that's how the episode ends? Well, okay, like, I guess there's gonna just be some goofy hashtag that comes out of this. Yeah, everybody is already making jokes about the stupid twerk thing that they did by the end of the other episode, the Stallion episode, that has become the stupidest meme that has ever come out of the MCU. I don't know why it exists, but like for some reason it just became a meme now. And it's not a good meme either. It's basically a meme to just be like, yeah, we had so many good things in the MCU and then this happened and then it's like She-Hulk twerking. So like most of the memes are to not like put a good light on the show or put that visual in a good light, because how could they have? So with that said, I'm just gonna get out of here. Seriously, I took 30 minutes to talk about this. Thought it was gonna be way less than that. So goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, everybody.